What's up, guys? Tommy Muchler here, your lazy agent. And today, I'm going to show you how to double your real estate sales by only making a couple small 1% changes in how you do business. Now, before I share with you the secrets on how to double your real estate sales with only 1% effort, I need to tell you a story. You see, in the early 2000s, there was this British cycling team, and they were awful. They were by far the worst cycling team out there. They never won any races. They were not good. And honestly, they were kind of an embarrassment. Until one day in 2003, they got a new performance coach named Dave Brailsford. He introduced a new philosophy to the cycling team called Marginal Gains, which basically broke down every single aspect of the cycling process and implemented a 1% improvement to everything, which focused on breaking down every aspect of the cycling process so we can improve each aspect of cycling by 1%. At first, the improvements were incredibly small. He would get better tires, try different bike frames out. He would get leg warmers for their legs. He would give them tips on washing their hands better so they wouldn't get sick, and doing whatever he could to improve their sleep quality just by 1%. He would also make 1% changes to their nutrition, to their hydration, even 1% improvements to their techniques or getting comfortable bike seats. For the next couple of years, all he did was help the team make 1% improvements in basically all aspects of biking. Then in 2008 at the Beijing Olympics, the British cycling team won 7 out of the 10 gold medals, something they've never been able to do. Then in 2012 at the London Olympics, they did the exact same thing except winning 8 gold medals, all because they made constant small 1% improvements over the years. Now you're probably wondering, okay, Tommy, cool story, but what does that have to do with real estate? Great question. Literally everything. Because whether you're on the British cycling team or building a real estate business, there are things that we can do to make 1% improvements, because just like the British cycling team, we can break down our real estate business and make small 1% improvements, which will turn into massive gains. For example, if you were to improve at something just 1% every single day, let's say content creation, let's say you make YouTube videos every single day and you just improve by 1% every single day for an entire year, that means you'll be almost 38 times better by the end of the year than when you first started. Another way to look at this is kind of like investing $100. If you were to invest $100 into the stock market right now and you made a 1% gain every single day, after one day you made $1, big whoop. Who cares, right? But after an entire year of your investment increasing by 1% every single day, your investment would turn into $3,778 over the course of the entire year just because it improved by 1% every single day. That is massive. I don't know if you ever heard the saying, small hinges move big doors, but it's literally the same. So what we need to do is we need to break down our real estate business and see where we can make 1% improvements so we can double, triple, or even 10x our closings. Now, there are 4 categories that I would like to break down in every single person's real estate business on where we can make our small 1% improvements, which should lead to double, triple, or even 10x the number of closings that you're currently getting. First up is lead generation. Now, when you're generating leads, there's a lot of things you can do when it comes to making a 1% improvement. Let's just say you're blogging or you're making YouTube videos or TikToks or some sort of content creation, even like ads. I would always ask yourself, well, what can I do to make this ad, this video, this blog, whatever it is I'm making, just 1% better? Just make a small 1% improvement every single time you make a new piece of content. It doesn't matter what it is, just see what you can do to increase the quality by 1%. Same thing is true for cold calling or door knocking or open houses. Just ask yourself, what can I do on this next phone call or this next appointment or anything that to make this experience, this interaction just 1% better? Can I ask a better question? Can I change my tonality slightly? Can I emphasize a different word in my script? Should I practice my script again? Your options really are limitless. You can even ask yourself, can I just knock on one more door, make one more phone call? Just do a few more every single day. Obviously, you can't be doing 1% more phone calls every single day unless you're only making one call a day. Then you could probably be doing a couple hundred phone calls a day. But seeing like, how can I just get slightly better every single day? Because obviously, if we're buying leads, let's just say we're buying leads from like Zillow or Facebook, we can always just double our ad spend, which is fine, great. You could double your ad spend, but that just costs you twice as much money, which yes, should get you double the leads. But personally, I would see what can I do to increase my conversion rate with the current leads that I have before I start doubling my ad spend. Another thing we can do is we can change things like our landing pages. What can we do to increase the conversion rate on our landing pages, say from like 5% conversion to a 10% conversion? Just changing how many leads can register like on a landing page can easily double your closings literally overnight. Now, here's a really cool hack on how you can do something like this. Inside of of the Lazy Agent CRM. Now, for those of you that are listening and not watching, I'm inside the Lazy Agent CRM right now, and we have our funnel builder, which I'm going to show you right now is a landing page we have. This is our seller marketing resume landing page where I turn sellers into hot listings. Now, this page is basically a landing page, basically selling people on why they should work with me, right? Now, we have our title here, we have a video, and then we have some information along with a call to action to schedule a free listing consultation, right? Now, what I might want to do is I might want to test out different headlines, maybe different videos, or even different call to actions. If we were to go into the Lazy Agent CRM, under our websites manager, we have our funnels, which shows us our landing page right here. If we wanted to, we could create something called a split test. Now, a split test basically just lets us create a different variation of our current landing page so we can test out different things like different titles, different headlines, things like that. Because if we can change our title or maybe our video and see which one converts at a higher rate, we then know that that one is the winner. So all we'd have to do is come to like create variation right here. So all we'd have to do is click on create variation right here, and we can duplicate the existing one, or we can create a new one from scratch. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the current page. And now we have our two different pages here. So if I wanted to, I can come to one of these pages and I could edit one of the titles. So let's just say I wanted to try out a different title. Now here's a quick pro tip when you do an A/B test like this to try and get a 1% improvement, because obviously we're trying to increase the conversion rate on this website so we can get more leads, which gets more appointments, which gets more closings. I would recommend only testing one thing at a time. So I wouldn't test the video, the headline, and the call to action all at once. I would only do one at a time for about a week, or until you get at least a couple hundred page visitors. So I might change the title from our top dollar savvy home seller system, how to sell your home for $50,000 more. I might want to change it to how to sell your home for top dollar without renovating it. So again, for those of you that are listening, I changed the title to how to sell your home for top dollar without renovating it. Now, obviously I could clean this up and make this look a lot prettier, but I'm just going to save this now for example's sake. So I'm going to go ahead and click save, come back to our split test tool, and I could choose how much traffic do I want it to go to. I'd probably just set it to 50-50, click apply, let all my traffic run to it. And then I could see, okay, which page is getting more opt-ins, which one's getting a higher conversion rate. And then I could decide which page do I want to declare a winner and use from here on out. Again, if you are generating leads through a landing page, this could be one of the best ways to very easily double your closings by simply trying out different headlines, different videos, and different call to actions. Now that we've covered lead generation, let's go ahead and talk about lead conversion. So obviously we're talking about converting leads on a web page. That's one thing. The way I identify lead conversion, or the way I define it, is converting cold leads to booked appointments. This usually happens either on a landing page, which we kind of just talked about just a second ago, maybe like a book a consultation page. It can also happen on text and email follow-up sequences after you've already generated the lead. Again, remember how we already talked about how just small changes, just small minor improvements are just like small hinges moving massive doors. For example's sake, let's just say we can improve our email open rate from 40% to 60%. That alone could increase our closings by 50% because you're getting 50% more people to read your emails, right? Now, again, I want to show you what this looks like inside the Lazy Agent CRM. So again, for those of you that are listening, I'll explain to you what's going on. Right now, I'm going to go into the automations tab and I'm going to click on one of our follow-up sequences. For example, here, I'm going to go to our new lead follow-up automation and I'm just going to click on a new website lead. I think these are one of the most common leads that people generate are website leads, usually like a forced registration lead where someone's registers on your website to look at listings. This is a really good, powerful follow-up campaign to be sending them. Now, by default, this campaign that I've already built out and tested for a lot of people that use the Lazy Agent CRM is full of text messages and emails and even ringless voicemails to follow up, nurture, and convert people into booked appointments. Now, here's a quick trick that we can do to increase our lead conversion, aka converting our leads into booked appointments, even more. What we can do is we can add a step right here. So let's just say right before the text message, we can add a split step right here, which basically gives us two paths. So we can have path A and we have path B. Basically what this does is it just splits half of our leads down one path and then the rest of our leads down another path. And of course, if we want to, we can add additional paths. Right now it's set to 50-50%. Basically, it's exactly like our A/B tool that we just talked about earlier on our landing page, except this would be for texting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save action. I'm then going to copy our text message right here and I'm going to copy it to path B. So now we have a text message going down path A. So now we have 50% of our leads going down down path A, which will receive a text message, and then 50% of our leads going down path P, which will receive a different text message. Now, what I'm going to want to do here is I'm going to want to change one of these text messages, okay? So I'm going to want to type out something completely different to see which text messages gets more responses, okay? So our first message says, hi, contact name. Welcome to our home search platform. Just checking in. Any questions or need help getting started? Let me know if you want to set up a quick call about your home search. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say something different. I'm going to ask a different question. Instead, I'm going to say, are there any homes that you'd like to tour this week? Okay, so now I'm going to ask a different question to see which one converts at a higher rate. We'll then click Save Action. We'll then go to our go-to statement. Every CRM is a little bit different, by the way. This is just how we do it inside the Lazy Agent CRM. So after they get that second text, they're then going to go to the next step here. So then again, as we're going through this, we can then test out which text messages gets a higher response rate. And then after a couple weeks of testing, we'll decide, hey, this one is the winner. We're going to go with this text message over this other one. And if we want to, we can start testing different text variations until we get the highest converting text message, which will convert the most leads into booked appointments. Now, we can repeat this step as many times as we want with different emails. I would definitely recommend doing this for email subject lines. So testing out different subject lines, see which subject line gets the highest open rate is massive. You definitely want to be testing that out. You can also be testing out our call to actions and so much more, even our links. Now, just a quick pro tip for anyone that's using the Lazy Agent CRM, there's this stats view button right here. If you were to click on this, it will show you all the stats inside of these follow-up campaigns. So we can see delivered, open, clicks, replies, bounces, which makes it really easy to test and compare emails to see which one is performing better. Again, these might not seem like massive things, but if we can increase our email open rates or our text message response rates, even by 1, 2, 3, 10, or 20%, these are small, minor improvements that can significantly increase our closed sales for the year. And the best part is this requires hardly any effort on your part. You just got to test a couple different variations every week or so until you find a headline or email or text message that converts better than the previous one. Now, this is also true for appointments. So again, number 3, we've already talked about lead generation. We talked about lead conversion. Let's talk about appointments. What are 1% things that we can do to increase our appointment conversions? Well, one thing I like to do is I like to send all my leads that I'm meeting for an appointment. So once I schedule an appointment, I like to send them all videos, testimonials, expectational videos, pre-sales videos, kind of selling them on my services, what they can expect, what it's like working with me, why they want to work with me over other agents. These are, of course, some of the obvious ways that we can increase things by 1% by using the tools and strategies that we just talked about for lead generation and lead conversion that we can use also in the appointment process. However, we can also do things like record our consultations. Now, for me, I do all my listing consultation and my buyer consultations on Zoom. I know, crazy idea. Actually saves me a ton of time, saves the prospect a ton of time. It's way better, and my conversion's actually gone up. So I really like doing it on Zoom. I've been doing it on Zoom since 2020. So I guess since COVID happened, I've been doing it on Zoom. Actually, technically Google Meets, because I think Google Meets is better, but I digress. But I would start recording all of your consultations with people. And then after you do your consultation, go back, watch the game footage that you just recorded and see what can I do to be 1% better on the next appointment. So again, you might have messed up that appointment. That's totally fine, but just go back, watch the footage. I know it's going to be kind of painful, right? But review, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? What can I improve? What should I copy again for next time? Again, we're just trying to analyze and see where can we make small 1% improvements for the next time that we meet with a prospect so we have a higher chance of closing them. Now, what about transactions? Obviously, the last of our 4 pillars that we're talking about, talked about lead generation, lead conversion, appointments. Let's talk about improving our transactions by 1%. Now, let's be real here. If once you get someone under contract, it's basically a done deal. There's a likely chance that you're going to be closing them on that house or getting their listing sold. It's basically a done deal. However, I would like to ask you, what can you do to make the transaction 1% smoother? Could we hire a transaction coordinator? Could we set better expectations with the clients so we're not haggling people over inspection negotiations? Can we set better expectations for all the processes? Can we start creating email templates? Like, this is one thing I did. I created a ton of email templates that I give all my realtors in the Lazy Agent program that both set proper expectations. They have all the checklists. They have all the things that people and prospects need to do so the transaction goes as smooth as possible. And that way I'm not repeating myself the next time. Same thing is true with systems systems and processes, right? Start documenting your processes and start giving those things to VAs. Maybe the VA can't do everything at once, or maybe your transaction coordinator can't do everything at once. But if you start giving them a few more things on every single transaction, that's going to save you more time to do more important things like showing homes and going on listing consultations and generating leads. So hopefully you see by now all the small 1% things that you could do inside your real estate business to significantly increase your lead conversion, so you can double, triple, or even 10x your closings just by making a few small 1% tweaks. I know a lot of these things seem incredibly minor, but just like the $100 we invested that just compounded 1% a day that turned into $3,778 over the course of a year, these small 1% changes that we're making in our real estate business will have the same effect. Now, here's the deal. If you want some of the free templates that I actually talked about in this training today, you can actually go to freefollowupcampaigns.com, where I give away a ton of follow-up templates, follow-up campaigns that all have incredibly high conversion rates that I and several hundred other realtors do use in their real estate business every single day. So again, freefollowupcampaigns.com if you want to learn more and grab those templates. And also, please feel free to share this video with a friend. It does mean a lot to me. With that said, my name is Tommy Muchler, your lazy agent, and I will see you in the next one.